A father and son charged in a violent Southern Kentucky shooting are sent to prison while the victim looked on. Details from Pulaski County ahead.
A Lexington family is picking up the pieces after a fire destroyed most of their home. The details coming up.
And Senator Rand Paul votes against a Senate bill that would support coal research. The reason why, ahead on WKYT News at 4:30.
This is WKYT News at 4:30.
Good afternoon, Sam Dick and Amber Philpott reporting. A father and son sent to prison today after a woman was shot in the face during a burglary.
Mark and Tim Showalter admitted they broke into the wrong house and shot a Eubank woman when she refused to give them drugs. Today they were sentenced on burglary and assault charges. WKYT's Phil Pendleton talked to the victim and has more from Somerset. It's our top story at 4:30.
Prosecutors say that father and son Mark and Tim Showalter chose their victim by mistake. The crime happened in May of last year in Eubank. They say they broke into Allison Beauclair's home, held a gun to her head, demanded that she give them drugs. When she didn't, she was shot in the face. Tim Showalter was sentenced to 8 years on an amended charge of burglary. His father sentenced to 12 years after being first charged with attempted murder. His charge was amended down to assault first. They're accused of breaking into Allison Beauclair's home. She says the elder Showalter held a gun to her mouth and demanded she hand over her drugs. She said she didn't have any drugs, and that's when she says he shot her. She says something her dog did in that moment may have saved her life.
My little dog jumped at him and made him miss my temple. That's the only thing that saved me was my 4-pound dog. You know, or I wouldn't be dead. It would have went through my brain. So.
Allison Beauclair came to court this morning with a long statement that she was prepared to read, a victim impact statement. She did not read that in open court, but she did read it for reporters afterwards. What she had to say in that coming up at our next newscast next hour. But for now, in Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
The judge ordered that Mark Showalter pay $18,000 in restitution to help the victim with her ongoing medical bills in dealing with her injury. A Lexington family is trying to salvage anything they can after their home was just damaged in a fire. 4 people were in that home on Price Road near the Lexington Cemetery when the fire broke out just before midnight. Most of the home has been damaged or destroyed. Investigators don't have an official cause, but a neighbor said sparks were coming from a boiler. No one was hurt, but the family says their dog is still missing. Showers and thunderstorms are working their way into the bluegrass this afternoon.
Here it comes. But the rain chances really ramping up tonight and overnight. Let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Chris Bailey. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Sam. Hi, Amber. Yes, indeed. Finally getting in on a little rain across the region over the next 24 hours. Doesn't mean we're going to get a ton of it. But right now, I think a lot of us would settle for just whatever Mother Nature will throw our way. Couple of areas of low pressure. One across western Kentucky. It's a weak one. Then look at the little curlicue, the spin coming out of Iowa in the northern parts of Missouri. That arrives for the day tomorrow. First things first, scattering of showers and boomers out there, and especially to the west of the Lexington metro. Had a little batch of some sprinkles working across the region earlier. Right now, that's a thunderstorm that is making its way up Interstate 71 toward the Kentucky Speedway. That'll head into northern parts of Owen County, northern parts of Grant County as well. South of Louisville, toward E-Town, back into the Litchfield area and around Bowling Green. General run-of-the-mill rains and some showers and storms. Future radar. Notice how a lot of that line begins to weaken out. Wouldn't you know it, farther east that it gets. And then later tonight, early in the wee hours of tomorrow, we start to see a little more action. We'll loop that one more time for you to show that this isn't a constant rain that is coming your way this evening, tonight, or even into the day tomorrow. We do have some showers and some thunderstorms delivering some needed rains. Weekend continues to look absolutely spectacular. When I come back in a few minutes, I'll show you why storm chances into next week will begin to ramp up. Quite the interesting pattern. That's in less than 10 minutes.
All right, we'll see you then, Chris. Thank you. Losing a limb is devastating, but choosing how you will respond to it can make a huge difference in your recovery and moving forward. Tonight, the story of a young man choosing to adapt his dreams to his new life as an amputee. It's a story we're working on for you at 6. Every day, Adam Stickney works harder than the day before. He has a lot of things he wants to get back to doing. In the last year, his life has changed drastically, but despite losing his leg in a bizarre accident, he isn't letting life pass him by. As an amputee, Stickney credits his family, friends, and his support system at Kenny Orthopedics for pushing him to be better. He says their amputee walking school really encouraged him to want to walk better.
Really important. It teaches you things that you're not going to learn on your own. They teach you the right way to do stuff so you don't become bad, or so you don't have bad habits. It's just good, and you get to meet other amputees.
Coming up tonight at 6, how Stickney lost his leg, how it has changed his life, and why he is not taking anything for granted.
Ever since you told me about the story you're working on, I'm just amazed by how he's come back from a horrific accident. And you mentioned the amputee walking school. That seems to be a real key to helping people like him get their life back.
First of all, he has an amazing attitude. Let's just put that out there. But he did say, you know, I had great support from my family and friends. But Kenny Orthopedics puts on this walking school. This year, they're also doing a running school. And he really says it's great because you can be around people that are just like you. They have the same struggles as you. You're learning from them, and it just kind of pushes you to be better. So coming up tonight at 6, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Obviously about the accident that took his leg and just kind of where he's at now, and he is just doing wonderfully. So that story coming up tonight at 6.
I look forward to it. Thank you, Amber.
Well, representing a state known for coal, you wouldn't think one of Kentucky's senators would vote against billions of dollars for coal research.
When an energy bill came up for a vote this week, Senator Rand Paul voted no. New at 4:30, our Washington reporter Kelly Meyer talks with the senator about why.
The energy bill authorizes $3 billion for the development of coal technology, but Senator Paul says he wants the government to get out of the way so they can have coal production again. He wants to see jobs brought back to Kentucky, the nation's third leading coal producer. But the senator believes President Obama has added regulations that have put the coal companies out of business. While some see the bill this week as a boon to coal, Paul voted against it.
So I've been opposing that war on coal and trying to keep the jobs that we have in Kentucky that are good paying jobs in the coal industry. And I've fought against that really tooth and nail for years now. What I didn't think is that we needed a big government program. Unfortunately, we don't have any money up here.
Senator Paul says the energy bill takes money from the government that it doesn't have. He also wants to see some of the environmental regulations put in place during the Obama administration repealed. Reporting in Washington, I'm Kelly Meyer.
And the Senate did approve the bill with 85 yes votes, include one from Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Oprah Winfrey makes a surprise appearance to celebrate losing 30 pounds from Weight Watchers. That story's ahead at 4:30.
Suit up, dress down. Whatever the occasion calls for, we've got the looks. Right now, select suits are $199.99. Designer jeans are 2 for $100. Plus buy one, get one free on more. Men's Warehouse. Rise to the occasion.
Join me, Denny Crum,
and me, Joe B. Hall,
for the biggest hearing event of the year.
Do you hear but don't understand? Do you struggle to hear in noise? We want 300 people to take the 10-day challenge.
Call the number below to evaluate the latest invisible hearing technology. 1 week only at all of our convenient locations.
Hearing Solutions, helping you listen to what you're missing.
Used cars are in short supply, so I need your trade. Right now, at the all-new Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, get up to $5,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade. During the spring clearance event, new 2015 Jeep Renegade Sports are just $189 a month. New 2016 Ram.
We all want to live healthier lives. It's only natural. Your body is a product of nature. Why would you nurture it with anything else? Just like your body, our vitamins, minerals, and herbs are grown from nature. And with all our products and advice, we have something for everything under the sun. We'll make sure you get everything you need, nothing you don't. All from nature herself. Roberts Health Foods, 1020 Industry Road, Lexington. You'll want to come see us. It's only natural.
You can lease a brand new 2016 Honda CR-V for just $259 a month. Plus, we're going to back all our deals with our 110% price protection guarantee. That's Neil Huffman Honda in Frankfort. Huffman has it.
Suit up, dress down. Whatever the occasion calls for, we've got the looks. Right now, select suits are $199.99. Designer jeans are 2 for $100. Plus, buy one, get one free on more. Men's Warehouse. Rise to the occasion.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Mainly dry skies so far across the area, though the sky is looking a little threatening into parts of the area. And eventually, yep, we're going to get some rain to fall from the clouds. We look outside, Hamburg Pavilion in the distance, and some overcast conditions over top of us. Could not get to 80 today for the first time this week. 75 Lexington, we won't complain about that. Humidity has pretty much doubled since yesterday, though it's still fairly low at 43%. It's one of the reasons the Rains are having trouble getting into central and eastern Kentucky. Had one little round of some showers, at least in the clouds, try to get into the area. A lot of that could not fall to the ground, couldn't get through that dry air. Thunderstorm ongoing northern parts of Owen County. That is riding up Interstate 71 as of now. Showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. Folks around the E-Town area, Bardstown, Louisville, and that extends toward the southwest into Bowling Green and Nashville. That's where the heavier rains have been so far on the day. One little weak area of low pressure is on top of western Kentucky. Little compact storm that has a heck of a rotation around it. That shows up over top of us as we go into the day tomorrow. So some showers and a rumble of thunder around for your Friday. Not going to rain all day. Tomorrow, though, we're going to see more rain than what we've had today, which has been fairly light so far. Saturday, Sunday, you like to see green, and especially for a weekend with both days featuring sunny skies. By the time we hit Sunday, thermometers could hit 80 once again across central and eastern Kentucky. Boy, this same computer model, it's known as the RPM, and we've talked about it for a few days now. I show you one run. It's updating every hour, by the way. One run says, you know, I don't really like the rain chances. The next run comes in, says, yeah, I like the rain chances. Well, this is one of those computer runs that says, yep, I like the rain chances. It's spitting out a corridor of 1 inch rains through tomorrow night and into through tomorrow night. Tonight through tomorrow night, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. Hour by hour forecast. Under the clouds in Lexington with some showers and thunderstorms working in here from west to east through 11 o'clock. Takes a little bit of a break. Then look what happens tomorrow. Not an all-day rain, but yes, we will fire up some scattered showers and some thunderstorms as we go into the afternoon hours with temperatures that will be right around the mid-50s by 11 o'clock tomorrow night. We go into our Saturday. Rains are pushing to our east. Dry skies are over top of us. Colder to start out the day. 46, that's not cold. It's colder. 66 to maybe low 70s coming up as we go into our Saturday afternoon. We'll hang on to a partly sunny sky. Planning a Saturday evening out. Yeah, you may need the jackets. Upper 40s to around 50 degrees. The long-range pattern into next week is one that is going to feature a heck of a temperature gradient. With 30s and 40s across the Great Lakes, I could see 90 plus into the Carolinas toward Florida. Now, I'm not talking 90s around here. We could hit the 80-degree mark on any given day. But when you see that big of a temperature gradient from north to south, chances are a front's going to be somewhere in between that can fire up some rounds of showers and some thunderstorms. So true, like heart of summer type temperatures to our south, and then wintertime to the north of us. And what does that mean for us? Well, we're on the warm side of that, so upper 70s to around 80, but that daily risk for a shower or a thunderstorm will be there. That does not include this weekend, which looks pretty darn fine, if I do say so myself.
Hey, we like it. Let's get some rain in here. Let's get it in, get it out, and get on with our weekend.
My lawn would say thank you for a little rain. It needs it right now.
Yes, then we can enjoy.
First time I've said that in April.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
All right.
It's the state finals for the Student Technology Leadership Program.
And we have a preview for you coming up on WKYT. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about today.
Tonight, you're invited to a new Big Bang Theory.
It's not a dress-up party?
No.
Howard, didn't you tell me it was a dress-up party?
Yeah. So get ready to celebrate.
A party sub implies it's a party.
Your attendance implies it's not.
With TV's #1 comedy.
I like a party as much as the next man, as long as the next man doesn't like a party.
Then, we don't want to say Oscar's new girlfriend is too young, but Terry Hatcher might.
I have some great 20-year-old scotch, or is that too old for you?
A new Odd Couple right after a new Big Bang Theory, CBS tonight.
When selecting trees and shrubs for your garden, consider how much space you have, how much sun the area receives, and whether or not your soil is wet or dry. And then come see us at Springhouse Gardens. We make buying plants a walk in the park.
What we do is not about sickness. It's about living. All of life's moments, big and small. Each triumph and challenge. Because you were made to live, and live well. And we're here to make sure you do. Let us show you how care is supposed to be. Lexington Clinic. Your doctors for life.
Nothing brings a family together like fun around the backyard pool. Here is your last chance to make that happen, and the price has never been better. For a limited time, Blue World Pools has the big 15 by 24 Econoline pool for not $3.99, not even $3.49. If you call now, that pool can be yours for only $2.99. That price still includes pump, filter, liner, ladder, and a free automatic pool cleaner. All that including free installation on your ready site for just $2.99. That's a $1,995 value for only $2.99. That's awesome! Call Blue World Pools now and take advantage of this incredible offer. Want more pizzazz? Of course you do! So jump up to our midline pool or grab for it all with Blue World Pools' top-of-the-line classic pool, the ultimate in high-style living. The choice is yours. But remember, this is your last chance to take advantage of our limited-time offer. The price will never get any better than this. How could it? Call Blue World Pools right now and beat that heat.
Get your car looking brand new again at Jeff's Car Wash, voted best in Lexington 20 years in a row. With plenty of options for any budget, Jeff's gives you the best car wash in town. Get wax and Tire Magic for just $12 with our exterior wash and go.
Hey America, I'm getting fired up for Golden Corral's new Fired Up Favorites. It's endless ribs, wings, and tenders in bold new flavors like habanero, sriracha, garlic parmesan, and classic buffalo. Fired Up Favorites only at Golden Corral.
Hi, I'm Richard Weber from Springhouse Gardens. Did you know that April is one of the best times of the entire year to plant trees and shrubs? The selection is great, and the plants have plenty of time to get established before the heat of summer.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. WKYT.
A student leadership program is using project-based learning to empower student learning.
And you had the opportunity to see some of these amazing projects this weekend. Deanne Stevens has a preview from Rupp Arena. Hi, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Such a neat thing going on here at Rupp Arena in the Lexington Center this weekend. Jeff is with us from STLP. And quickly, if folks are just now tuning in, you got to tell them what STLP is.
We are the Student Technology Leadership Program. It's a K through 12 through all of Kentucky and all of Kentucky public schools. It's through the Kentucky Department of Education, and it's really about things like this guy, about using technology to do cool new things in schools to show how what we're learning. And here is a great example.
Yeah, what is this thing following us around?
This is STLP Sam, and he is a great example of how technology can help education. Imagine if you are a student who is stuck at home, you're sick, you're out of school for a while, but you still want to be in school. Imagine if you could connect from home and still, this is you in the classroom, but you're home, stuck in bed. Learning doesn't have to stop.
So what's neat about this too is these are the kids who are coming up with these projects that you're seeing here this weekend. Like this group from Rosa Parks Elementary. Tell us about your project. What's going on over here?
This is our project Tech Boss, and it's a blog that students can look at to show them apps that they can use for projects, homework, and more.
Who comes up with this stuff?
Well, we came up with it, and we decided to be a good problem solver.
Yeah, a great problem solver. Technology helps with solving problems a lot of times, and it also helps with creativity. The students from Lafayette High School, sorry to step in front of you there, what are you all working on over here?
We are working on a sort of digital playground. So often what we find the problem is in schools that we try to be very, very straightforward with things. Color within the lines, don't do this lesson plan. what we're having here is a sort of opportunity to just allow them to run free and draw whatever they want. And we're using this awesome program called Photoshop. You've probably heard of it before.
I've heard of it, honey, but I can't use it.
It's harder than you might think. But Photoshop allows you to create numerous different illustrations and creations and even animations, which we do with the game program over there, that just allow you to express whatever you want.
And the kids can do that when they come and see what's going on this weekend. Anybody's allowed to come out, right? This is totally open to the public beginning tomorrow?
Absolutely. About 11 a.m. until about 4 o'clock. Mom, Dad, Grandma, school board members, anybody come on down and see what's going on.
And cheer the kiddos on. I want you to check out the East Jesmond Middle School group over here who's put together this Tune Into Safety.
Yes, our main aspect of our project is to keep our community informed and safe. And we do this by creating various videos that we see issues in our community that need to be improved. So like a new program we're trying to implement is the Yellow Dot program. And what we do through this is if you're ever in a collision and you're unresponsive, the yellow dot sticker will go in the back of your vehicle. And if you're ever unresponsive and you can't communicate, they'll know through this information, there's different emergency contacts, things like that. They'll be able to get in touch with people like that.
So not only are you smart, but you're saving lives here too, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, well you can come see for yourself what's happening here at Rupp Arena in the Lexington Center. Doors open at 11 tomorrow, is that right?
11 a.m. tomorrow.
And runs through?
Runs through about 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Then 5 o'clock we have our award show here in the floor of Rupp, and we'll pack the pace with students, and everyone can come in and we're going to recognize all this great work.
Brilliant and creative minds with a Student Technology Leadership Program here at Rupp Arena and the Lexington Center this weekend. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. You guys wave. Say, have a great weekend. Back to you guys.
Those are some of our best kids.
That's our future right there.
Yeah,
I think we're in good hands, maybe, right?
Yeah, they may hire us. You never know. Oprah Winfrey has been a part of the Weight Watchers company for a few months now and decided to celebrate this week by crashing a meeting of members.
Check this out. Winfrey walks in, shocking everyone and broadcasting the whole thing live on social media. Gal pal Gayle King was along for the visit and posted some pics online saying that Oprah was a good student. The WWE star, who became one of the best known and most popular female professional wrestlers in history, has died at the age of 45. China, whose real name was Joan Laurer, was found dead yesterday in Redondo Beach, California. She often wrestled against men and at one point was the WWE Women's Champion. Police have not said what caused her death, but TMZ is reporting China died from a suspected overdose.
Snow starting to melt in Montana, so some avid skiers have come up with a new way to pass the time on the water.
P-Rant's great 5-day sale ends Tuesday. Amana top-load washer, $2.99 Super Saver. Amana 25 cubic foot stainless side-by-side with ice and water dispenser, only $8.99. 18 months, 0 interest on TVs and appliances.
Nobody beats P-Rant's.
Can you help me figure out what to plant in my front yard to help our curb appeal?
Sorry, I just started working here last week, so I'm not sure. Hey, can you help her find some plants?
Sorry, kid. I work in the plumbing department.
Can you help me figure out what to plant to help our curb appeal?
Piece of cake. First, you need a few dwarf boxwoods over there. Supplement those with a crate. Take your curb appeal to the next level. At King's Gardens, we share your passion for plants.
This is what precision looks like, helping you see what's hard to see, thanks to Terrain Denali's Side Blind Zone Alert that uses radar to watch your blind spots. So it's true, Mom does have eyes in the back of her head. The new, meticulously crafted 2016 Terrain Denali from GMC. This is the precision of professional grade. Or current lessees switch to GMC and get this low-mileage lease on this Terrain SLE1 for around $199 per month.
Visit your Bluegrass GMC dealer today.
Did you know, unlike other blood centers, blood donated with Kentucky Blood Center stays in Kentucky? For Kentucky patients, Kentucky Blood Center is the exclusive provider of blood for patients at your hospital. Visit kybloodcenter.org for more information.
Make time this spring to escape to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where the only thing you'll want to do is have fun in the sun. Let the sound of the ocean's tide take all your cares away and leave you refreshed to experience something new. It's your moment to let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
want to lose weight quickly and safely? Do you want to be healthy for a lifetime? Kim did and lost 238 pounds at Ageless Medical Weight Loss. Betty did and lost 135 pounds. The Ageless program is a medically supervised, affordable weight loss solution. Call today for a free consultation.
T-Rant's great 5-day sale ends Tuesday. Get this reclining sectional with Beauty Rest Sleeper, $19.99, plus get a free 50-inch LED TV, 60 months, 0 interest, and double the free gift cards up to $1,000.
Nobody beats T-Rant's.
You just had that feel today that it wanted to rain.
Yeah.
And it just couldn't quite rain, or maybe a little bit in some areas.
And we know that we certainly need it, Chris. Some places seeing some rain already.
Yeah, some folks, especially west of Lexington, getting in on some showers and storms. And eventually, most areas, central and eastern Kentucky, will at least get some drops out of this tonight and into the day tomorrow. Can't find any of those drops on our live sky cams. Jackson, London, Frankfort, where we were breaking out into a partly sunny sky, 75, Lexington 76 into the capital city as of now, with those temperatures into the 70s area-wide. Defender Radar Network showers and storms heading toward the Covington-Cincinnati area, and also watching a little band of some showers and storms trying to fire up now around sections of Adair County, heading into the Casey County area. So folks around Liberty, maybe eventually into Danville, could hear a little clap or two of thunder over the next little bit. We'll watch those continue to pop as the evening wears on. Right now, let's watch the roads with Officer Don.
Police are working at least one collision on the north side. It's on the circle near Russell Cave, and we're seeing slowdowns approaching that crash right now as we're showing a lane blocked. We've cleared the problem at the Richland Road just past Shenaway, so that's the good news there. But that crash into Circle and Russell Cave still popping up with backups in and outbound and around the circle approaching that collision. Drive times this afternoon to Versailles looks okay. No major issues there, 12 minutes or so. To Nicholasville's about 14 minutes, and to Richmond, 24. Now back to you in the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. Pond skimming, a potentially close call at the zoo, and a Ted Cruz look-alike. It's the video that will have you talking. Take a look at this.
When the snow starts melting in Montana, one resort tests out snow skier skills on the water. At Big Sky Resort, skiers race down the mountain and try to skim across 2 ponds. Whoops. That rarely actually happens, though. As you can see, most skiers crash and burn. Finishing the annual pond skimming competition isn't the only objective, though. Creativity is a big part of this equation.
Definitely it's a sport, but it's also creativity. Number one, they got to make it to the end. Number two, they need to have some flair, not only in their skiing, but their style. Costumes are huge points.
Or lack of costumes.
I was going to say, yeah.
That water must be cold. Powder Magazine will take the best skimmer to a World Pond Skimming Championship in Canada.
Video of a woman risking her life at the Toronto Zoo has viral viewers baffled. The video surfaced over the weekend after gusty winds blew the woman's hat into the zoo's tiger exhibit. Instead of letting it go, the woman shocked zoo visitors after she decided to hop over the fence to retrieve it. And as you can see, the cats get visibly excited when the lady went over. She successfully made it out of the tiger exhibit without being injured, but the woman is now under investigation by local authorities for her not-so-smart decision.
Give it up. Republican presidential candidate Ted Cruz has another look-alike, only this time there's a gender twist. A woman on the Maury Povich started a social media frenzy after showing a very sharp resemblance to the Texas senator. The woman's name is Circe Hayes, but she's now being nicknamed Ted Cruz's look-alike sister. This is not the first time social media has fun with Cruz comparisons. He has been compared to the likes of Grandpa Munster, the notorious Zodiac Killer, and even Christian heavy metal rocker Michael Sweet in his youth. When asked her thoughts of the comparison, Hayes jokingly suggested that Cruz could be her long-lost brother. Okay.
I guess I sort of see the resemblance.
Supporters
there.
of Cruz may not be too fond of that story. But,
all right. Here's what we're working on for you now at 5 o'clock.